All right, let's get this started.
Thank you.
Sorry, guys, for the big delay, but we had to get a few things sorted out that weren't working properly, so now we are ready to go. Colonel Stark is going to start us off.
Hello, everybody. I thought I would go ahead and start off this solemn occasion reading the eulogy for good friend Corium, who many of us knew, many of us were happy to have known, and all of us are sad to have seen gone.
I mean, that's just not how friendship works. I mean, friendship, the basis of friendship is not molestation. I mean, it's friendship. It's friendship itself.
In his own words, the basis of friendship is not molestation. But he touched us in many, many ways. On the bright side, it was usually good touching. He was an asshole, he was rude, he was disturbing. And he gave no fucks about anything but family, friends, and fun. And we loved every minute of his bullshit. For years, he made us laugh, gave us amazing stories and characters, and always managed to make us question our convictions and morals, whether they were just the beliefs of the characters we sent on adventures together, or the ideas we as people held on to the tightest. He loved playing games, and we all loved making fun of every bit of each other. How can we describe the person most people know as Adam? Well, to us, he wasn't Adam, he was Corium. Actually, he was the Corium. He could say anything, do anything, make fun of anyone, and he could get away with it all simply because he's Corium. Somehow he could make any situation funny and memorable, and we would be disappointed if he weren't described in one word: moist. He was always a friend when one was needed, someone to talk to share ideas with, and to be there for you. Of course, you had to accept that he would make fun of it later. It would never let you forget the stupid shit you said. But that was the fucked up relationship we all had. We never failed to make fun of him. Breaking his back making a sandwich, breaking his back going to the bathroom, driving his car barefoot, and every time he would try to say something but fucked it up, we would be there with a joke, a pun, or just straight up laughing at him. And let's not forget the sounds he made when he took a blow pop or pizza crust to the side of the head, delivered by his wife on our behalf. We all knew what made each other tick, and we knew just how to push those buttons. We couldn't go more than 5 minutes without calling each other something horrible. You bitch was a favorite. He was our brother. He was a husband. He was a son. He was a friend. He was anything and everything anyone needed him to be. He lived to make people smile, and he was damn good at what he did. So long, Adam, Corium, Vic, Grog, Karos, whoever you choose to be today. We'll miss you. Click, click, go fuck yourself. As a member of the 15th, Corium impacted so many people's lives. He was always there for whoever needed someone to talk to. As a friend, he was always there to make our day just a little bit better. And as a person, he taught us all a valuable lesson: not to turn people away or judge them for petty things. He was accepting, and I think that's something we can all learn to be better at in his honor. Goodbye, Corium, my friend, my brother. We will miss you, you fat bastard.
Thank you, Colonel. Now we will hear from a few words from Sergeant Westfield.
I know that today is a somber day for a lot of us. It's a time of grief
and loss for us all. Corium was not just a good friend to me, but a good friend to a lot of people. In one way or another, believe it or not, all of you who stand here today in game were affected, whether it's by unit policy, the attitude of those around you, or your ability to have some fun in a manner you won't be judged by, no matter how dark or absurd it might be, or because crazy rants that you have no idea are going into some Pepsi conspiracy theory. Corium was that change in this culture that we are all a part of.
And leaves with salt, and their shit didn't taste like dirt. Why the fuck is my Pepsi that I just bought tasting like dirt? I mean, shit. You'd think these companies, they got so much fucking money, would be able to at least have like a dirt filter or something on their fucking Pepsi machines. I mean, they spend a lot of money on those machines, right? You can't fucking return them or nothing. I mean, you got them in the little fucking factories and everything. And
Even though all of what he said makes sense and is probably true about the said Pepsi conspiracy, he could rant and he could go on and talk about things that you couldn't even fathom. And I think that made him unique and one of a kind. I'd love to go back to the time where Corium and I were just privates in the unit, and we looked up to James Baker, who allowed us to be crazy and flourish with our sadistic thoughts and rants and raves. But then again, hell, who am I to take credit? Corium had a mind of his own. He was so unique. I can only wish to be as original as Corium. Moist was his invention, and any person or any time I watch a commercial or TV show and I hear Moist, I get a little bit angry nowadays because he came up with that. And it'll always remind me of him. And in a couple of years, I'll probably cry about it. And I know that when I get to the gates of hell, he's going to call me a little bitch for crying about it. He was light years ahead of any of us. Corium made a joke out of a lot of things. However, if something bothered you or you really struggled with something, he would take the time of day to just try to get you to come to terms or help you with that situation. He would go out of his way to help you out. He'd give you the logic that you often didn't have or maybe didn't see. He was a good friend and often a hilarious friend. And yeah, Corium was an asshole, but he was our asshole, and we were proud of that. And we loved him for that. He often had the ability to talk to you and getting you to talk about things way outside of your knowledge, just to lay that knowledge on top of you and teach you just a little bit more than you thought you knew. Corium was a much better person than I will ever be, or I am ever going to be, and I'm never going to forget our dear friend. See you on the other side, Corium. Stay moist, my friend. On behalf of 3rd Platoon Alpha Company, rest in peace, you moist son of a bitch.
Thanks, Sergeant. All right, now we're going to hear from a couple words from a retired member, Corporal Taylor.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here. On behalf of those of us who were particularly close to Corium, on behalf of his wife who is here with us today, it is a very rare occasion when you have the chance to speak for someone who you knew for only a few years and yet became as close as a brother. Corium was an individual who had an incredible depth of character, and he was not ashamed of sharing that with people, whether it was sharing the troubles that he faced, or giving a listening ear to those of us who experience similar issues. Any of you who had the chance to meet Corium would know very well that he would find everything we're doing right now a little bit ridiculous. He would not want any of this, wouldn't want to see it, wouldn't want to be a part of it, would think we're all silly for doing it. And I'll be honest with you, I think that's the reason right now that we're all here, because we know that, and we enjoy making him just a little bit uncomfortable. Everyone that Corium touched was a little bit better for it. He was not shy with his love and affection. He was not shy with his jibes and harassment. Any of you who felt close to Corium also felt like he hated you just a little bit. And I don't think anybody had a problem with that either. He was a good friend. He was a terrible Marine. But he was a lot of fun. He's the first individual I have ever seen scream like a little girl as a shot down hind comes toward his tank. It's a very spectacular series of events there. I think it's on video somewhere. We'll see if we can dig that up later. But I'm going to cut it short before I get unnecessarily emotional, and I will pass it off to the next speaker. Again, thank you all for being here. Corium, Semper Fi, Semper Viva, Hoorah.
Thank you, Tyler. Now, a few quick words from Corporal Daw.
I want to thank everyone for showing up. I don't need to stand here and tell you how much of an impact Corium made in the unit and the people in it. It's clear by the amount of people here today that he was an impact. He was there was no joke too dark. No matter how hard we tried, Corium would be right back at it again with another over-the-top joke. You tried not to laugh at, but end up hurting yourself in the process, trying to contain it. He would tell me, if I laughed at that, I was just as fucked up as he was, and I guess rightfully so, because there wasn't too many jokes I didn't laugh at. I first ran into Corium on the recruiting server. It was on Takistan, and he had run off on his own. He was just doing his own thing. I remember seeing his blue dot running around the map, and I thought to myself, that guy's an idiot. The kicker was that the zones were actually going from red to green, and he was kicking ass. It just so happened we ended up crossing paths outside of Garmsar, and he had run out of ammo and was yelling at the AI insurgents. So of course we had to pick him up. He instantly made the entire Humvee laugh. I remember it vividly, and from that day forth, we always rode together. Back around that time, his name was Manny Corium, but we told him if he wanted to join the unit, he had to use a real name. We figured he would use Adam, but Corium being Corium just dropped the Manny part and used Corium, which was even funnier. We eventually started playing the recruiting server, more heavily and more organized, and we made a little call sign, Jester.
Whoa! Bitch, we're trying to stack. You're interrupting.
My boy Westfield, who just spoke, Baker, and Corium, and myself. I think it just further solidified our friendship by spending literally hours together driving around and bullshitting. Once he actually got into the unit, he decided to go to tanks. I think he spent a little time in Gator, but he loved that stupid M1A1, no offense. And he loved smoking Marines with that 25-foot shockwave that came out of the barrel every time he fired, and he fired a lot. He literally didn't give a fuck, and at the same time he was a welcome breath of fresh air, a rebel of sorts who could literally get away with anything. Corium had a habit of pushing people's buttons though. I couldn't stand up here and talk about my friend without mentioning that. If you let him see he had gotten to you, it was over. He was relentless. He would call his wife too, and she would jump in on making fun of whatever it was, and it was just such a show. That being said, if you knew Corium, like really knew him, it was coming from a good place. If he had made fun of you, it was because he accepted you into his little gang, and that was that. He made friends with everyone. It was almost impossible to run into someone who didn't have a story about Corium, or how quick his shenanigans would spread from the entire unit from a single training. I think I heard the sandwich broke his backstory 432 different times, each one completely different than the last, but equally funnier. We all know that one video where he's sitting down and talking and just going off like Corium did. At the time, I recorded that thinking, this is going to be funny to put up. Now I watch that video and think of all the times we had just like that, where I didn't get to record. All the times I won't have a chance to record anymore. I get sad as I watch those videos, but listening to my friend go off at the same time cheers me back up. So it's good. I had signed up for the unit recently, and I got the bad news of Corium's passing. I had lost contact with Corium over the years because my computer died, and that is a regret I will carry for the rest of my life, losing contact with such a good soul. But the regret is vastly surpassed by the fact I knew him, played with him, and just bullshitted with him. The videos don't do Corium justice. He was so much more than that. He was my brother, he was my battle buddy, and he will forever be missed. Adam, until we meet again, SYOTOS. Thank you.
Ooh, fucking raw.
Thank you, Corporal. Next, hear a few words from Lieutenant Colonel Alexander.
Many of you don't know this, but Corium and I actually joined this unit about the same time. Got to know him very quickly, and happy I did so. Very few people who have come through this unit and had conversations with me who had the ability to make me laugh. Didn't matter how bad I was feeling. Corium, he just had that ability, and it was innate. He almost didn't even have to try. 5 seconds with him, I was smiling, and no worries of this world ever had any effect on me from that point forward. A lot of people ask me to describe Corium, and it's one of the hardest things that I could ever do. It's hard to put into words a person that you considered to be a friend, somebody who you respected, no matter what they did, mainly because when they did something stupid, you were laughing so hard that it didn't really matter that it was stupid. Not too terribly long ago, about 2 years ago, I was explaining Corium to somebody because I had had a conversation with him, and I was laughing my ass off at the time. And I had a conversation with somebody, and I tried to explain Corium to them, and I explained it through that video.
You obviously can't
Friendship
buy gifts for your girlfriend,
is
right?
not based
You don't
on
get paid much.
molestation.
So you gotta
And
have
lo and
good
behold, this
friends
person who
make
had no
those
connection to the
jobs and
15th
shenanigans.
goes, hey, I've
But
seen
the
that
bad thing
video.
about it is unions typically end up bringing the job down because
This isn't just somebody who's had an effect, a comedic effect on this group here. It's somebody who has been able to reach out and touch people beyond this unit, make them laugh, get a little more joy out of their lives. The amount of respect that I have for Corium is immense, and I am happy to have kept in contact with him so much longer afterwards. When the news was broke to me, I immediately jumped on to every account that I had that I was friends with him, just to see that he wasn't online. There's a lot of emotion that was in my voice on that day. It was difficult to go to everybody and tell them that somebody who was so beloved to this unit would never be gracing our presence again. All I can say is goodbye, moist bastard. I am glad I met you. I don't regret one fucking second of it.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel. There's a lot that's been said here today. A lot of these guys knew this dude a lot better than I did. Honestly, I don't know what to say. Corium is just that kind of dude where you can just throw out 10 cuss words, fuck, shit, goddamn it, bitch, and hell, and it will perfectly describe him. because those are his vocabulary. He was a guy who has been here, feels like since it started. It's still going to feel like he's been here the entire time. This is not a type of ceremony I enjoy doing. It's not the first time we've done one. I want it to be the last. I don't want any of this to be the kind of thing that we have to do. But when it is, I hope to God that every time it is as special and well done as the one we've done here today. Even though, yeah, he'd say, y'all are fucking crazy and shut the fuck up and let's go play some stuff. I still think he'd appreciate it, and I know that everybody here does. Like I said, I really don't know what to say. I'm gonna miss that fucker a lot. I know all the rest of us are too. So, in conclusion, Moist, click, whatever the fuck you want to say about the dude, it will all be appropriate. Semper Fi, live on. We'll miss the shit out of you. This time I'm going to turn it over to Captain Gambino for Ceremony Master. Captain, please take it away.
Detail is formed and ready. Orders as follow. Fire 3 volleys, 21 shots, 10-second interval, Staff Sergeant. Aye, aye, sir. Detail. Aim. Fire. Aim. Fire. Aim. Fire. Ceasefire. Half right. Hey. Present.